Hello, Purple for Parents. Steve Daniels here. Do we have audio? Do we have video, sound and video? Are we good? Can everyone hear me? Still can't hear. All right, let me try this again then. Michelle says we have audio. All right, we're good to go. All right, so I wanted to give everyone an update from the meeting on Saturday with the Arizona GOP. We were able to get our resolution passed, so that is a huge win for Purple for Parents and a huge win for parents and kids across the valley and the state. What that allows us to do is it allows us to hold our legislators accountable to when they're writing legislation, that it will keep parents' rights and school choice in mind, to keep the politics out of the classroom. That's something that's been going on a lot, and we're actually going to talk about that more later. I've got a Chandler High School parent on the line, and there's been a situation that recently happened that I'm going to tell everyone about that will probably shock most people and disturb you. It's definitely something that we as a group need to speak out against. And we need to fight for the next generation of our kids that are currently being indoctrinated and brainwashed with a very leftist and harmful ideology. So just to recap again, on Saturday, we had about 15 volunteers out there gathering signatures for this resolution. It was a very early morning, of early start, 6 a.m. It was dark, it was cold, but we appreciate everyone that came out and supported us and everyone that supported us in spirit as well. So we were able to get that passed through a floor resolution, and now we've got that on the books, and we'll be using that to hold our legislators accountable. So what took place, and many of you might have actually seen this on Twitter. She goes by Randy Savage. Her Twitter screen name is @_Hublet. So what took place is at Casteel High in Chandler District, their daughter was in history class, and the teacher was teaching about the different types of political ideologies, starting on the far left with communism, then socialism, then in the middle, or then Democrats, in the middle moderates, and then Republicans, and on the far right they say it's fascist. So interestingly enough, this teacher then goes on to equate Republicans with nationalism, and then under nationalism lists suppress lesser people, kill them, and genocide. So we have a high school teacher who is equating the Republican Party, the conservatives, with nationalism, which is fine, but then under nationalism list kill them and genocide. I don't know how anyone thinks that's okay. And of course, the student brought this to her parents' attention, and the parents, being the responsible individuals they are, contacted the school. And from there, it's kind of gone a little haywire. We've got Donald Trump Jr. actually retweeting about this, Charlie Kirk from Turning Point, among many other influential people on Twitter. So it's bringing some attention, not positive attention, to Chandler. A couple of people said, yeah, they mentioned they had seen this taking place. So if you can go on our group page, they've posted the screenshots of the whiteboard that had all this written on there. It is shocking to actually see with your own two eyes. It's not something that I ever expected to see in a schoolroom in Arizona. You know, it's been a traditionally fairly conservative state, and I just feel like right now we've lost our education system, and we have to take it back, and that's what we're planning on doing. So I want to introduce Rihanna.
Hi.
Rihanna, hello. Can everyone hear Rihanna?
Can they hear me?
Let's make sure we got audio. Do we have audio on Rihanna?
Can you guys hear me?
I think they can. Let's double check. Yep, we got audio on you, Rihanna. Okay, so I appreciate you joining us, and if you want to give a little bit about your background, who you are, and just go ahead and explain how this all started.
Sure. Thanks for inviting me on here. I'm really glad to be able to connect with you and the other parents that are concerned and active in this community. So I've lived here in Queen Creek for several years now. I lived further north before that, and I actually moved here from California. So that's a little about me. I'm married to Brendan Dilley, who has a daily talk show on Periscope, noon Eastern every day. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, give the plug.
Yeah, of course. Well, you asked who I was, so.
You got to.
That's the more recognizable. So yeah, I'm not on Facebook, but I'm very active on Twitter. I have a big platform over there, and I do a lot of kind of fun, outrageous stuff. But our kids are in the public school district. We don't live in Chandler, but our daughter goes to Casteel, primarily because of the tennis program and some of her friends that are there. And it's been so far a pretty good experience, but there have been some issues with the teachers that were a little concerning about comments they would make or some of the CNN clips they chose to play in the classroom, but we chose not to really take issue with it because, we have that open line of communication with our kids, and we discuss current events with them, and they're really smart and good they have a lot of discernment, and they ask a lot of questions.
That's good.
But when my daughter came home from school and told us that her history teacher was comparing Republicans to Hitler and saying that Hitler was pro-life and pro-Second Amendment, I mean, regardless of where you're at on the political spectrum, it was just the most outrageous false information. So I needed to bring it to the principal's attention, and we went back and forth a bit. I asked for a meeting at his most immediate availability, which he accommodated. And in that meeting, he provided that photo of the teacher's board, which was the craziest part to me, was that he thought that this board would support his argument for what the teacher was teaching. And he gave me permission to take a photo of it. We went back and forth, and I told him my concerns. I made sure that I was clear and concise and calm and stayed on topic. But you can see from that board exactly what she was teaching my daughter. And then the principal, who was skeptical, had my daughter come in, and he asked if he could ask her questions about what the teacher had said about what was on the board, because his position was that we can't determine what the conversation was just from seeing the writing, which is kind of ridiculous, but yeah. I humored him. So he asked her questions. She told him exactly what she told us, and this time she had a visual that she could point at.
Wow.
And you could see on the board where she circled pro-life and Second Amendment and these things, and pointed them at fascism and Hitler and the negative light in which she painted nationalism. She did not discuss the spectrum of nationalism, and also the false claims of the spectrum of Democrat versus Republican. For example, saying Republicans are anti-immigration or anti-LGBTQ, just wildly false claims. And long story short, the thing went viral. And when the principal followed up with me today, the administration was of the position that the teacher did nothing wrong, that my daughter just misunderstood the lesson, that she portrayed the lesson correctly, and if we wanted, we could move our daughter to a different history class.
Wow. So to go back a little bit, the teacher equated Trump with Hitler. Is that correct?
No, that is not correct. She didn't say anything about Trump.
Okay.
She equated Republican values with Hitler. She called Hitler pro-life and pro-Second Amendment, which is laughably false.
Wow. Okay, thanks for that clarification. So equating Hitler with Republicans and said he was pro-Second Amendment.
Correct. She was making she was drawing comparisons between the modern American Republican Party and German Nazi socialist fascist dictatorship.
Wow. I know a lot of people I've heard a lot of people try to draw that comparison. It's amazing to me that they deny the socialist birth of that party. It is quite amazing. So the teacher obviously presented it in that way. Did you actually get to talk to the teacher, or was this all just discussions with the administration?
I did not. I went straight to the principal. Primarily because this teacher, from what I discussed with my daughter and found from her friends that are in that class and other parents, this is nothing new. This teacher has a lot of complaints that are similar against her, and nothing has been done about them.
Wow.
So I wasn't even going to waste time going directly to her. I just went directly to the principal.
No, it's probably smart. So it wasn't a one-off is kind of what I was getting at.
Correct.
Okay, interesting. So at this point, the administration then has now taken the position that the teacher did nothing wrong. The teacher was teaching the lesson appropriately, and your daughter is the one mistaken, and your remedy would be to move her to a different class.
Correct.
Wow. I don't even know what to say to that.
It's pretty outrageous.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where you go from there. I mean, you've got clearly a teacher who has acted inappropriately, and this is what we're dealing with on some other topics as far as the equity and inclusion, as far as the comprehensive sex ed that they're trying to push into classrooms. And this is just one more example in how using those agendas and then pushing that into the classroom allows for this type of stuff to stay in the classroom. So somebody's asking in the chat, what's the teacher's name? I don't know that we want to give that out at this point. What's your take on that, Rihanna?
Well, I would say at this point it's already public. I mean, it's in discussions all over Facebook and Twitter. Her name is out there. People are posting her photo.
Okay.
I was very careful to blot out all names. Yeah. I didn't even mention the name of the district or the teacher, but some larger verified accounts like Donald Trump Jr. and Charlie Kirk, when they started tweeting about it, they named Chandler Unified School District, and in that thread, everyone said, oh, it's Casteel High School. And then the principal called me Friday night at 9 o'clock at night.
Wow.
In a panic. And I have the call record on my phone. I've been documenting everything, but Smart. he was very distraught. He said, it's going viral. I thought we had a good conversation. I thought you were going to allow me to follow up on this. And I told him, look, I didn't give out publicly any information of the district, the school, or the teacher. Not that I couldn't. I could, but I didn't. I chose not to because I was trying to work with you to resolve this. I was giving you an opportunity to fix this. But interestingly enough, this district, this school, and this teacher have had so many issues similar to this that people were able to guess. They were able to determine on their own who it was. They were DMing me on Twitter, these anonymous accounts that I didn't even know who they were, and they said, hey, I'm a parent in this area, I'm in your area, was it this school or this teacher? Wow. I didn't have to tell them, they knew. And so then and privately I would confirm, yes, it's that teacher, and then they went and had their own discussions, and the word spread.
That's crazy. I mean, obviously it's an issue. So if people want the name, I'll go ahead and tell them. It's Ms. Nave, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Okay, Nave. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, she was not in school today. She had a substitute teaching her class today. So I'm not sure what that indicates, if she's on some type of leave until this blows over. They're hoping it just goes away.
I did notice that she had locked down her accounts the other day on social media because I had her name and I had done some research, and her stuff's locked down now. She's no longer Nave. It's Nave, Justine.
Yeah, her social media is all private from what I'm told.
Yeah, it went private. It wasn't prior to it obviously going viral, but that's the first thing people typically do is lock it down. Well, that's pretty crazy. I definitely appreciate you coming on and getting active and involved. You have a definite media following, social media following on Twitter. You have the reach that many parents don't. Many parents wish they had because their voices are not heard. So we really thank you for doing this. We hope that you'll be active with Purple for Parents because we're fighting the same fight. We're pushing the same direction.
Absolutely. And here's what I'm hoping from us working together is that I do have the reach but Twitter's nationwide. So I can reach a whole lot of people that can say, oh, this is terrible. But that's not effective. I mean, it will bring eyes to the issue, but what we really need is the good old-fashioned boots on the ground. I need parents, willing to go into the school with me and not let this go. Because this is what always happens is that when the social media storm blows up, the school and the administration batten down the hatches and they just hunker down until it blows over and people go back to their lives. But this teacher is being allowed to stay in the classroom and continue to teach in this way with this material with the administration's blessing, and we can't let it fly.
Yeah.
I mean, this is far from over.
No, I agree. And this, trust me, it's far from over. There is a school board meeting, I believe, on the 12th, if I'm not mistaken. Barring any unforeseen circumstance, I will be there. Michelle, as Michelle said in the chat, we have the boots. We've got the soldiers, and we would love if you would attend the school board meeting, because that's
I will, and I actually also had an invitation on February 4th to speak about this at the Capitol.
Oh, okay.
So I will be doing that as well. So I will be locally active in this. I'm not letting it go, and I did send an email to the principal tonight saying as much.
Awesome.
So, and I also CC Dr. Casteel on that because she should be aware that it's going viral. I'm sure she is.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I also have, like I said, I've documented everything. I have all the screenshots of all the students that have been reaching out to my daughter and thanking her for reporting this teacher, because they had said, and I have it in writing, that they have been reporting her for similar and nothing was ever done about it. And they were so frustrated with her, and they were so thankful to Sophia for speaking up.
Awesome. I mean, this is what it takes. And as I mentioned, you have the reach, which is a blessing, because most, if not all, parents out there do not, and they feel helpless, and that's why our group was started by Forrest Moriarty. He's actually running for state house, and he's since separated from the group legally, just because he's running for office, but he's the founder, and this is why he started it. He wanted to give a voice to students and parents that do not have one, and that's what we're here for. And as I mentioned, we're not in this for the personal notoriety. We're not in this for money. This is a grassroots effort to save our children, save our schools, and save our country. I mean, it's really what it comes down to. I'm
so grateful that he did that, and I'm so grateful for you guys that are doing it, because I know it's hard. I know it's exhausting, and it can be frustrating because it's a long game.
Definitely. Oh, it is. And I mean, as I mentioned to you briefly, we've had parents that have been doxxed by actual school board members in Chandler. A school board member in Chandler has doxxed and essentially motivated her followers / supporters to reach out to this individual's employer to try to get him fired. And another individual's employer was posted out on the web saying, hey, people should contact her employer to see if they agree with what's being said by this quote-unquote hate group. Purple for Parents, you may not be aware, has been called a hate group by the Chandler school board member and her followers. So
I think I did see that, because somebody tagged me in something on Twitter about it, and that lady now has me blocked.
Oh yeah, Lindsay
preemptively. So I didn't even get to see who she was before she blocked me.
She blocks she blocks everyone that's associated with Purple for Parents, which is a whole other issue, because she's a public servant, an elected official, and one of the circuit courts actually ruled that politicians cannot block constituents or the public on their social media account that they use for their office. So
there was a headline about it because Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had to unblock somebody.
So did Trump. Hey, it works on both sides, right? I mean, he got called out for it too, and that's fair. Yep. But she's been doing it. It's going to take somebody to hold her accountable. So one of the members.
Unfortunately, we're already public figures. You can't dox us because we use our personal names doing this. Yeah. We're self-employed, so there's really not much you can do to us. We have kind of a unique and closed circuit way of supporting ourselves. So we're kind of titanium at this point.
Well, God bless you for that, because we will need you to fight the fight with us. So we definitely appreciate that. You know, we look forward to working with you guys in the future, and anything we can do to help in this specific situation, we will do. I know you mentioned you're going to be down at the Capitol. We'll try to get as many members down there as well. If you need parents, we will organize parents to go down to the school, to the Capitol, to the school board, whatever it takes. Somebody mentioned, reach out to the AG, because you can actually report to the Attorney General this type of activity as well.
Correct.
Awesome.
We're exploring every avenue, and this is, I guess, the catalyst for us to get more involved in this. But I'm really looking forward to us mutually supporting each other. I'm glad that I found you guys.
Cool. We're glad we found you mutually. So welcome to the team. We'll get
Awesome.
you. We'll have to get you on Facebook, if not just a personal account to follow the group, because that's where everybody hangs out.
Okay.
So yeah, if you don't have anything else, does anybody have any questions in the group? Any questions for Rihanna or myself? Not seeing anything right now, but just want to tell you thank you, and thank you to Brendan, your fiance. You guys are getting married soon, right?
Yeah, in April.
April, awesome. Well, that's congrats on that.
Thank you.
Somebody mentioned wear purple. We are purple for parents. So if you're,
it is spring.
yeah, purple, not just for the wedding, but purple anywhere. So if you're going down to the schools, to the board meetings, or to the Capitol, wear purple. That's definitely how they recognize us. People know to look for the purple at this point.
They're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, they see purple coming. They know what's up. They call us
a good color.
Oh yeah.
I'll wear it.
It's to battle the red for ed. I mean, that's really where this was formed out of, was to battle red for ed, and it's taken a couple different directions, and now we are going to be the parents' rights advocate group, and we're going to fight for those who don't have a voice, because the teachers and the schools have the union and a lot of the leftist groups fighting for them. I mean, they have Planned Parenthood, they have Lucha, they have many other groups that are extremist left groups fighting for them. So the kids and the parents need the conservative voices.
Absolutely. I mean, that's pretty intimidating when they call in all of those extreme dogs from up north and have them come to a board meeting when they're not even members of the community.
Yeah, no, definitely. And we go around and support, we'll support other districts that we may not be in, but that's because nobody else is doing it. And we appreciate it. So we'll talk more offline and get connected and make sure you guys are brought into the group and welcomed. Appreciate everyone's time here tonight, and we'll talk to you hopefully maybe later this week and give you more updates. So thanks,
Wonderful.
everybody.
All right, thank you.